Hello. Sorry, if I'm a bit tired, but I'm productive at night because I guess I'm nocturnal. So today we'll be talking about a TARDIS mod that I really like. I mean, it's spectacular, basically. In fact, I've even done a Google Docs on my thing on what I like about it, and it's not going to be a tutorial or a review. I'll leave those in the description. So if I just load up my Google Docs, hopefully it should give me the negatives that I don't like about it, what I do like, which hopefully be a lot, and what I would like to see added, things changed, and just sort of things like that. So in the TARDIS mod itself, the main reason I like it, I think, is it's complex, and when you compare that to the actual series, that makes a lot of sense, because TARDIS is meant to be complex. It's not meant to be easy to do. I don't know, it's not meant to be easy and just, flick a switch and off you go.
When the TARDIS is on manual, you can't be certain of anything.
What do you mean?
It's harder to fly than you think. I mean, you don't just flick a switch.
And I know that this won't appeal to everyone because, a certain big mod that everyone likes, Dalek Mod, has always had it be fairly simple and easy to use, and that's obviously the bigger mod, so I feel like it's not for everyone, this mod, but I personally think this is how the TARDIS should be portrayed, and I think it works better than the Dalek Mod 1.16, even though the 1.16 has a lot of good features now and it's getting a little bit more complex. This is just the way to do it, and I think it's like this new mod is complex in the right way. Well, in some aspects it's complex to pilot, complex to keep maintenance, complex in like its mood and what you can do with it, but it's not like, it doesn't go too far in like the actual piloting and maintenance systems and things like that. It doesn't go too far. It's how I expect it would be, and it's strangely not buggy at all, especially compared to the 1.12 version.
Right, K9. Without our gravitic anomalizer, this is the best we can do. Let's give it a try, shall we? Come on, old girl. That's very odd. Wouldn't you say that was odd, K9?
Odd, not computable, Master.
Whereas this, the only problem I've come across is you're sometimes stuck in the door for a little bit, and that can be solved by turning around and closing it, and that the console lighting bugs out occasionally, but other than that, no bugs. Future me here with an even shittier mic. There is another issue where when you enter the console room, the hum takes about a minute or two to get working before it actually, starts. But that's 3 problems. That's not that bad. And it's just really well integrated, and I'm very impressed. Granted, I don't think I've ever got around to doing the 1.14 version, but the 1.16 version is very good. And when it comes down to negatives, I don't know, I guess when you go to Dalek Mod and you go to config in the mod settings, there's a lot of options, or at the very least for the 1.12, you could change a lot of things about it, like bigger on the inside and that. I don't know if it's the same for 1.16 Dalek Mod, but 1.16 TARDIS Mod has no config at all. Like, something I would like to see is to be I don't think having them spawn naturally is the best idea. I think it can work, but I think having the option would be nicer, because in a certain situation where you don't want access to be easy, maybe just have it so that all I'm saying is just give it an option to turn it off or on, or more options such as disable bigger on the inside, because I know that lags a lot of servers, and even though my PC can run it, I always tend to have it off for reasons, so it's a shame it doesn't have that. I'm hoping that's just a temporary thing. And let me think. Some other things I'm impressed with is, obviously, because this is my dream mod, or I don't know how it is, but it is. So I've always thought to myself, if I was going to make a TARDIS mod for Minecraft, how would I do it? And this is basically how I would do it. When I found out that you could change the the sound effects for materialization and the hum, I was very impressed, because there was multiple different versions, and that blew me away. The next logical step, however, would be to be able to import your own audio, or at the very least give suggestions. But I think importing audio is the next logical step, and how loud it is. So that's the small steps, but add that, and that section's basically perfect. And okay, the consoles, all the models are very impressive. Obviously there could be some more roundels and things like that added. So yeah, those are all the positives out of the way. Now time to get to the negatives. I guess a main negative would be I touched on it earlier, but this mod ain't going to be for everyone. Not everyone will like how complex it is, and I'm not saying don't make it simple. I'm just saying keep it complex, but not everyone's going to like this. Most people would just settle with Tardim or Dalek Mod. Most people would just think, okay, this is way too complex. I mean, even I had to look up a tutorial first time I was doing it, but that's part of the fun. That's why it's good. But I do understand most people won't like this.
Right, who's that? Oh, it's the orangutan. Here we go.
Congratulations.
What? Why?
Because that is unquestionably the best 1 litre little car of them all. No doubt about it. And the engine in this,
Yeah.
it is phenomenal. 125 horsepower from 1 litre.
I know.
And 65 miles to the gallon. Honestly,
why are you saying these things, and why then aren't you in one? Why are you in that VW?
It's the up exclamation mark. This, well, I brought this because I like it.
Well, hang on, you've just...
No, I like it. This is brilliant, but I like this.
I guess I would touch. Well, I didn't touch on it earlier, but when it comes to how you get different exteriors, you have to attune a screwdriver and attune, not attune, but you have to It's a very weird way of crafting. It's a bit difficult to describe. Hopefully, if I can be asked, I can put it up on screen. But
what you'll need to do is basically, if you actually check how to craft the sonic screwdriver, you'll see that it's a tunable. I'll get into that in a bit. Craft it, but if you look here, it says a spectrometer or spectrometer, and you can scroll through. There's a lot of recipes, 27, and it tells you every single interior you can get. Now you basically put something like, let's say I wanted to unlock the, I don't know, a coralized interior. Or actually, how about the Nautilus interior? I'd get a Nautilus shell, and I'd put it in here. So while that's going, you can put your sonic screwdriver in here, and it'll basically be scanning this, and then your sonic will be up here. And once it's done, it'll say Nautilus interior, and it'll start downloading it into your screwdriver. Which is pretty cool. So once you look at if you hold down shift, you'll see that the Nautilus interior is stored into your screwdriver. Just take that out, walk over, and if you look over here, you have the sonic part, put it in there, and you'll unlock the Nautilus interior.
I think when it comes down to that, those aspects of how you get different exteriors and stuff, that needs to be changed, because it didn't really work for me. That was just a hassle. Each new world you have to do on each new TARDIS, it takes ages to get the interior exterior you want, which isn't very good. And so yeah. Moving on, some things I think they should add is when it comes to refueling, they should. I don't know if they already have this because I haven't tried it out for much. I probably should have said that as a disclaimer. They should use some. I think they have mercury in the mod, but they should also. I don't know. It's just a bit too simple. Just a pressing of the button and you start fueling up, which I guess could work. Maybe it would be too complex, but I think if they've added everything else to be complex, they should go the full way and make refueling complex. But I don't know. It seemed a bit too easy. And then obviously more more models. At the moment they only have 2 TARDIS mods, and I know that they want to keep this separate from Doctor Who, but they shouldn't really do that in my opinion. They should obviously keep the customization, like a big part of it, like it's add custom models like all you want, but we should add things like the Sidrak exterior from the War Games, the Masters exterior from Legopolis, and the Masters one from Curse of Peladon. No, not Curse of Peladon, the Time Monster, the little 70s computer bank looking thing, and things like that. And I don't know, yeah, 2 other features that I would like to see that is just me basically fantasizing would be add another type of TARDIS that you can move, and like it would be basically the Master's TARDIS from Keeper of Traken that you can walk around in. Well, not walk around in, but it can go on the offensive. Maybe I don't know how you'd implement that, but it would be a nice change, you know. Or on that topic, just add different TARDIS types, each with a different like sort of facility. Type 40s could be the they have the most range, they can do the most things, but they break down the most easily and they're unreliable. And then you've got, I don't know, let's say a Type 70, which is the Masters that you can move around and like control basically. So yeah, and the other crazy fancy thing would be in the Frontiers, the TARDIS actually gets displaced, it gets spread everywhere. If there's a way to do that, I think would be really cool. So instead of the TARDIS like just breaking, have it spread around the map, and then add so the more I talk about it, the more I realize it's a fantasy, but if you could do that, that'd be really cool. I don't know, but if you could do that, that would be really. No, I don't know about it. Anyway, some other things would be to add that is just a bit of a send-off. You could add things such as, I don't know if it actually works like this, but if you take off with the what's it called? If you take off with the doors open, you get pulled out like an enemy of the world. Something that would be cool is if you could set a preset timer like in Resurrection of the Daleks and probably countless other stories. So you could set a timer and it would go there without you.
What's that?
The Doctor preset the controls on the timer. We're going to Earth.
Didn't intend to return.
Or maybe I think it's like if you have the handbrake off, the TARDIS would just drift away. Or I don't know. I haven't actually piloted it enough without stabilizing. I haven't done that yet. I'm too busy customizing. But once I think they have things that can happen during flight that affect your journey and affect what you're doing. So another cool addition to that would be in the Web of Fear, you can get caught in this web type thing. That would be a cool feature. You have to break out of it, and that could be a really rare occurrence. Don't know how. easy that would be to add, or if it's a good idea. But I'm just here to say that could be cool. And I guess my last thing that I could say about it, really, like, is a bit of criticism, is maybe get rid of the other items in the game. Maybe screwdriver, because it's necessary, keep that, but I mean, get rid of the Daleks, get rid of the Cybermen if they're Cybermen, get rid of the clothing. It's not necessary. You can't say you're not doing it to be with Doctor Who and then go and add those. Maybe create a separate pack that you can like add on as an extension, like more Daleks and things like that if you want that, but the TARDIS mod should just be focused on the TARDIS, I feel. So maybe get rid of those. It doesn't really make a lot of sense that they're in the mod, considering that it doesn't really feel like a Doctor Who mod, more a TARDIS mod, because that's what it is. So they're a bit unnecessary in my opinion, and just clutter it basically. And another thing is a lot of the models don't really. It feels a bit. It could be a little bit more simplified, I think. And trying to think what else they could add, but off the top of my head, I think that's about it. So overall, it's a splendid mod, and I do like the aspect of I think the thing I like most of all is the components that you can like take out and repair and things. So for instance, if you had 2 people on the server with 2 TARDISes, and you a cool thing you could do with the other person is, if they were annoying you, for instance, you could pop into their TARDIS and take their dematerialization circuit and they're stranded, or something like that. Or another cool situation you could be in is you run out of fuel and you're stuck on the moon, or something like that. And I think those are opportunities for, like, yeah, situations of, well, how am I going to get out of this, that you can't really get with Dalek Mod. So yeah, so this is the solution to. I like the 1.12 mod, but it's way too buggy and it just doesn't work, and this just feels like it's been refined, like, to a playable point. So yeah, this is my little rant about what I liked and didn't like about the mod. And yeah, you should definitely go install it. Of course, links will be in the description, as well as the links to tutorials I watched and things relating to this. So thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you stuck around to watch my little rant, and if you stuck around this far, why didn't you subscribe? I've never really asked for that before, but you should subscribe. We're almost at 100 subscribers. That would be pretty awesome, I can't lie. So yeah, see you in the next one.